So if you manage projects or you lead a team, you've probably felt it. The entire game has changed. You're delivering more than ever before, but somehow it feels like your actual influence is shrinking. We're going to dig into why strategy, not just pure execution, is the skill that truly defines modern leadership. Think about your day. It's just this constant, relentless stream of deliverables, right? It all starts with more dashboards, every single one of them screaming for your attention. And then, of course, come the endless requests for more updates. You got to keep everyone in the loop. You got to keep the whole machine running. And what does it all add up to? More output. I mean, by every classic metric out there, your team's productivity is just absolutely through the roof. But here's that nagging question that just pops up in the middle of all that chaos. With all this work getting done, why does it still feel like you're just reacting to things instead of actually leading? Well, the reason you're feeling this is a huge paradox of our time. In this new AI era, the speed of execution is it's mind-blowing. But for a lot of leaders, that crazy acceleration has this weird side effect. Their personal influence feels like it's getting smaller and smaller. And listen, this isn't on you. This isn't some personal failure. We can actually give it a name. We'll call it the strategy gap. It's this growing canyon between doing a ton of work, high-volume execution, and providing that meaningful, directional leadership that actually moves the needle. So if we want to close this strategy gap, we have to start by taking apart a really outdated belief about what it even means to be a great leader in the first place. For the longest time, these were the rules of the game, right? If you could keep things moving, stay on top of risks, nail your milestones, and just be completely dependable, you were a rock star. Strategy? That was somebody else's job, way, way up the food chain. But here's the thing. That playbook is now totally obsolete. When an AI can whip up a project plan in seconds, analyze risks way deeper than any human can, and spit out status reports instantly, your value just can't come from being a good executor anymore. That's not the differentiator. And this right here is the absolute heart of the problem. Most of us were trained, conditioned even, to be world-class deliverers. We were never really taught how to make the tough choices, how to decide what's really important, and this is the big one, what we should intentionally choose not to do. This is where the big shift happens. We need to completely reframe what we think strategy even is. It's not some dusty document that comes down from the executive suite. And let me tell you, this reframe changes absolutely everything about how you see your role. So I want you to completely forget about those 50-page strategy documents that nobody ever reads. Real, modern strategy is so much simpler. It's a series of choices that you make visible to everyone. It's active, it's alive, and it is all about creating clarity. This slide really draws the new line in the sand. Look, AI is an incredible tool. It can generate endless options, analyze data in a blink. But look at that column on the right. AI can't choose what actually matters. A human leader has to be the one to decide on a direction, especially when things are uncertain, and then stand behind the trade-offs that come with it. That part of your job is simply irreplaceable. And this is what it actually feels like, day to day. Before you have this strategic mindset, every single request feels valid and urgent, and you're basically just a traffic controller. But afterwards, clear outcomes become the anchor for every decision. You name the trade-offs right up front, and your team, they finally get the why behind their work, not just the what. Okay, so that's the big mindset shift. Now let's get really practical. Let's talk about the how. Here are 4 specific shifts you can start making, like today, to reposition yourself from being an executor to being a true strategic leader. Let's just walk through these real quick. First, you shift your default question from the tactical, okay, what's next, to the strategic, okay, what matters most. Second, you have to stop trying to please everyone and start making your trade-offs explicit. Put them out in the open. Third, you lift every conversation up, moving the focus from all the little tasks to the big outcomes you're trying to achieve. And finally, number 4, you learn to use AI as a sparring partner to expand your thinking, but you never, ever let it make the final call for you. I want to pause on this for a second because it is so critical. Just let it sink in. If nothing is being sacrificed, there is no strategy. Strategy is the art of choosing. It is defined by what you say no to. And here's why this is so urgent. As AI just keeps compressing the time it takes to get anything done, the real value of a leader moves upstream. It moves to those moments of decision, of clarification, of setting the direction that happen before any of the work actually starts. That is where you need to live.
So let's make this real. Right now, think of your biggest, most complex project. I want you to use it as your first experiment in this new kind of strategic leadership, and it all starts just by asking a few better questions.
Start with this one. Seriously, forget the 50 bullet points in the project charter for just a minute. What is the single most important outcome this whole project is supposed to deliver? Get absolutely crystal clear on that one thing.
Next, you got to ask the hard question. Based on that one true outcome, what are we explicitly, intentionally choosing not to focus on right now? Name the sacrifice. You have to make that trade-off visible to everybody.
And finally, you have to ask yourself this. In this entire sprawling project, where does my unique human judgment matter the most? Find that point of leverage, because that's where you can have the biggest possible impact. You know, in the end, it really all comes down to this. The future of leadership isn't going to belong to the people who can just deliver things the fastest. It's going to belong to the ones who can choose a direction, who can navigate all the tough trade-offs, and who can lead their teams forward with absolute clarity and intent.